Okay. I might change up how I do my videos, and I might not do them every day. We'll see, but it's more of I realize that talking to a camera about your issues and just magically expecting them to just be like solved after you're done is not exactly healthy. And I mean, they helps because it helps to relieve stuff off your chest, obviously. But like, I can't work out a problem that I am having, like especially if it's a big one, by myself. Even if it's talking to myself, you know? And so, like, I don't know if I'm gonna like continue like making videos where I just like talk about my problems all the time. Because like, talking about my problems helps, but it doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't solve the issue. It doesn't really do much for the problem. It just helps me feel better. And so that gives the illusion that the problem is fixed. And I'm just like, okay, I'm living out my day. But like, it's not gone. It's still there. It just feels less of a problem because I've talked about it. Like, oh my God, it's gone. I've talked about it. Like, whatever. Like, it's still there. It's just, like, doesn't feel as prominent because I've already talked about it. And I'm just like, oh, in my head, it's solved because I talked about it. Or I came up with a solution. I just didn't follow through with the solution. Most times, though, if I come up with a solution, like, I follow through with that solution because, like, I'm one of those people, like, when she has a solution or when she does something, like, when she thinks of something to do, she does that thing. Like, you know, like, I'm not one of those people, like, dilly-dallies. Like, fuck that. But, like, so I might not make videos like that anymore. Which I feel like a lot of the reason why I have made the videos like that is because, like, sorry, I have a tank top on because, like, it's fucking hot, okay? Also, I'm wearing this bra that, like, actually really makes me self-conscious because, like, it's a padded bra, which I hate padded bras because they just make me feel, like, uncomfortable and, like, fake and weird. And, like, I don't know, and they make it, like, your boobs heavier and, like, it just makes it a bigger inconvenience, and I hate padded bras, but a lot of padded bras are the only bras that, like, really fit me, because, like, my boobs are, like, weird, like, they're B cups, so they're large, but then they're, like, also, like, I mean, they're a large B cup, but, like, and a lot of cups that are, like, in the lower section, like, are what fit me, but, like, a lot of the ones that are, like, smaller, that don't have pad or they're like a structure or whatever, like they either like are too slippery and they like are too like I don't like feel secure, or they're like too small and they're too tight and it's uncomfortable. And so like I hate those bras like without like the pads for like the smaller boobs. But then like when I wear like a boobs that like have pads in them, like I just feel like so unnatural, like someone just like literally put a mattress on my chest and was like, here you go. Like, it's weird, and it makes my boobs like 10 times bigger, or not 10 times bigger, I'm being sarcastic, but like they look twice as big as they normally do than they actually are. And already my boobs are like they're pretty like okay size, like I'm not mad at them most days. Actually, no, it's a lie. Like I actually am really kind of self-conscious about my boobs because like I hate wearing low-cut shirts because like I always feel like whenever I wear low-cut shirts, people always look at my chest first and then look at me, and then I used to always be self-conscious about my low-cut shirts because I have a birthmark. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but like I have a birthmark like right in between my breasts, and it's like in the valley of my breasts, and like it's pretty obvious when you're wearing like a low-cut shirt, and like I used to be self-conscious about that because a lot of people are like, what's that on your chest? Like, what is that, like jam? Like, I don't know, like just people like just I don't know. It just made me really self-conscious when I was younger, and I hated my birthmark, blah, blah, blah. I went through a phase, whatever. So that was another reason why I hated wearing, like, low-cut shirts. I'm like, I just hate wearing low-cut shirts. And then when I wear, like, this bra, or any bra kind of like this, where, like, they're basically like, the ones that can actually really fit and support me, but, like, they're also the ones that, like, make my boobs, like, twice as big and, like, make me feel uncomfortable, too. And, like, I hate them. Like, I hate them, but, like, I don't have any other bras that really fit me, like, you know, which sucks, because, like, I wish I could just, like, take the bras that fit me and just, like, take out the pads, because, like, the pads are what, like, make me uncomfortable. Like, I don't like, I mean, my boobs are fine, like, they're normal, like, whatever, but, like, when you make them bigger, like, it makes me self-conscious. Like, I don't like having big boobs. I don't know. Like, honestly, I'd prefer to have smaller boobs than bigger boobs. But whatever. Well, they're not even bigger boobs. They're just, like, weirdly sized so that, like, they're directly in the middle. So that, like, they don't really fit anything other than, like, the padded bras, which I don't like padded bras, but I have no choice. So, like, whatever. Plus, it doesn't help that I hate shopping. So, like, the minute I try on a bra and it feels semi-comfortable, I'm just like, whatever, it's fine. Like, I'm fine. Like, it's really uncomfortable now because I can't stop looking at my boobs and looking at them jiggle because, like, I'm feeling uncomfortable. Like, yeah. Which one of my friends was talking to me, I don't know if, like, you watched the video, but, like, a couple days ago I was talking about how, like, I feel really weird sometimes, or, like, I want to look like a guy, but I don't want to have, like, the like, I don't want to be, like, fully transformed. Like, I'm not transgender. Like, I don't want to be a male. Like, I want to, like, feel dominant, and I want to kind of look masculine, but not, like, male. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But, like, but then sometimes I also really want to, like, feel very, like, kind of feminine and, like, cute and, like, whatever. Not anything outside my box, obviously. But anyways, like, so, like, I have, like, those two, like, weird things. And I was talking to her about it, and she's like, you know what you might be? And I was like, what? And she was like, you might be gender fluid. And I was like, really? And she's like, do you ever, like, hate your chest sometimes? And I was like, do you ever, like, hate, like, anything feminine on you? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, is it all the time? And I was like, no. And then she was like, oh. And it's just like, sometimes do you feel, like, very feminine? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, you might be, like, gender fluid. And I was like, wow, like, that's kind of cool. Like, I don't know. I've read a book with a gender fluid character before, and it was pretty interesting. But, like, a lot of hers was more, like, psychological, and she wasn't, like, it's not the same for everyone, so I can't speak for everyone. And plus, like, the author might have just depicted a person like that. She might not have experienced that herself, so, like, she might not have been completely accurate to how we feel as gender fluid, or I might feel as a gender fluid. Like, I don't know. Like, I might be gender fluid, I might not be. I don't know. The only thing I'm really sure of is sexuality, and that is true. Which also she talked about something to me, like, too, that was insane. I didn't even think about. There's a difference between sex and gender. Like, a sex, I always assume gender and sex are the same thing, but they're not. Like, sex is, like, your genitals, like, what's, like, physically what your gender is, like, what your sex is, like, physically what your attributes are. So, like, if you're a male, you have a penis and you have pecs. And if you're a female, like, that's your sex, would be having boobs and a vagina. Like, that's just what, like, biologically, like, that's what sex means. But she said gender was how you felt. So, like, if you felt like a girl, like, you are that gender. And if you feel like a guy, then you are that gender. And, like, genders and sex are not always the same thing, and blah, blah, blah. And I was, like, amazed. But we couldn't talk more about it, and I was so frustrated because we didn't talk more about it because she's my classmate, and, like, we couldn't talk more about it. It's because, like, our little discussion had to end because, like, you know, period, like, end or whatever. And I was really annoyed about that. Oh, it's hot. I want to take a cold shower now. But anyway, speaking on that, like, I just talked about this, so I don't really want to talk about this because, like, I feel like I'm, like, burdening, like, myself, whatever, to the camera about my problems and not having a solution for it yet. So, like, what's the point of bringing up a problem if you can't even bring a solution to it, you know? So, like, that's the benefits of socializing, I guess. I don't know. I don't socialize. Maybe there's a lie, though. I have friends. I have, like, 3 friends that are my best friends, and I love them so much. I'm like, anyway. But, but there's this girl in my class. She's gay, and she's a lot like me. She's down to the feminism. Like, we are so similar. Like, it's insane. I don't think I've met someone who's, like, I've met someone who has like my kind of personality and kind of like my habits and stuff, and we kind of like are similar in some attributes, but a lot of times like we differ on like certain things, and like they're pretty big things, and like they're like, okay, we're very similar, but like we're also very different. She's like the only person that I've met who was like actually like literally did someone clone me? Like, wow, like we're like so insanely similar. Like other than our sexualities, like, but even that, like we have this like the same thing where we're not straight. We think a lot. We've both dealt with like very big traumas in our lives that have lasted a long period of time. And like we both kind of dealt with mental disorders, and like we don't, I don't know. But like we're just very similar, and like it's crazy how similar we are. Like even with who we're attracted to, we're very similar. We're both really love androgynous people, and like I'm just like boo boo, like hello, me too. Ugh, my boobies. Okay. Yeah, but we're really similar, and it's kind of weird because like you're talking about depersonalization, which I hadn't even heard of before, and I just kind of assumed that it meant like your lack of personality, like you're impassive, whatever. And she said, no, that's not what it is. And she literally explained it, and she said she experiences this, and I was like, girl, me too, and I had no idea what this was before. But basically, she said depersonalization is like feeling like depersonalized with your like self, like you feel like you're not experiencing anything, and I don't know how to explain it. Like it's like you're not feeling something, but you were like you're in the body. And she said that might have to do with why I have a bad memory too, because a lot of times like I'll go through things and I either won't have any memory of it, or like I like remember it, but I just don't feel like I was there, like I was experiencing it, but I knew I experienced it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's like kind of like reading your life or experiencing your life from the third person. Like you're there, but you're not there. And she said it's like physically it can happen too, and then also like mentally, like you're just not there. And I was like, girl, I think mentally is most of it, but like physically sometimes too, because sometimes like everything will kind of just be out of focus, and like I'll just be staring at something, and I just like will stare at it for hours, and we'll just kind of like be just laying there and won't move for hours, just staring, and like won't feel anything, and it's terrifying. And it happened a lot when I was younger too. I distinctly remember always being like doing like really weird shit to try and like make myself like feel something, because like I noticed a lot of other kids were like weirdly happy all the time and like always excited and like blah blah blah, and I was like, I'm not like that. Usually I'm either really angry or like I feel nothing. And so I would always try and do stuff to make myself feel, and I was always kind of like a daredevil, and I always wanted to disobey and like rebel to make me feel something. And even as a child I felt that, and like I don't know, like it was just so weird to like need someone who like could tell me like what was wrong with me, because I honestly thought I was like maybe schizophrenic or something. And she was talking about how like it's natural for you to like do that, because like either due to trauma or like physically, like mentally, like there's something like off, like your nerves don't connect somewhere or something. And I was like, that's insane. Like I had no idea. Like maybe it's a bit of both, because like we both know I've dealt with a lot of trauma in my fucking life. Like okay, like raped my stepbrother, living with someone who has mental disorder, like numerous things. But I might be biological, because like I experienced it even as like a young 5-year-old, like but then even as young as 5, like I dealt with a lot of kind of traumatic stuff, because like I lived in Virginia, like my aunt and my mom were kind of druggies, and they would party, and like I experienced those parties, and like let me just say, it is terrifying when you're in the dark and you're trying to sleep and protect your cousin because you're scared, because you hear shouting, laughing, you smell weird things that you can't identify, and you see shadows and you hear crashing, and like as an adult you can just be like, oh yeah, like it's partying, whatever, they're rowdy kids. As a child you're like terrified, because they seem like monsters to you. And like I was always just like, I need to protect my cousin. Like I love my cousin, she's younger than me, my mom would want me to protect her, even though my mom is participating. If she was insane mind, she would want me to protect her. Like I just like was always that way in Virginia. And like, I don't know. It was weird. So yeah, even at such a young age, I get deal with like trauma that maybe that's why this is happening. Like that's why this is happening. And I thought like maybe I was different. Maybe like I had to deal with multiple personalities. And she said it's normal for you to deal with multiple personalities because like your stress does that. Like your stress does that to different people. Like your stress kind of like makes other personalities so that you can like distribute your stress like equally and like deal with it like separately and like cope with it, you know? Or she said like stress like converts to anger and blah blah, which definitely happens to me too. And then she also said that like the depersonalization, which happens to me all the fucking time, like mildly, it's all the time. Like I think that's why I have a bad memory too, because like even if I'm really focusing on something, like I just kind of like still am not all the way there, and like it's always like a little bit like ooh dee doo. It was really, really bad when I was a kid and I did not understand it at all, and I was just kind of like totally immersed into it. And now I kind of like understand that like it's just a part of me and like I just need to like focus more or whatever, and like I don't know. I think that's why I have bad memory and why I can't focus very well and stuff, because like I just keep like going in and out almost like a camera, but like it's like my mind not focusing, or focusing, not. It's just a lot of like stuff, and I just like found out today that it's an actual like thing that like people experience, and I'm not the only one, and like it's like amazing to like have someone to share that experience with and like understand and feel how you feel, like the confusion, the fear, like it's terrifying. Like honestly, like it's so terrifying when you're, especially when I have massive episodes. Like you've seen me, like I made like 3 or 4 videos the other day when I had my first day of my period, when I was like, it was really, really bad. Yeah. Also, forgot to mention today, okay, this is kind of embarrassing to admit, but whatever. Okay, so we all know, we all know, whatever. My grandma can't drive. She thinks she can drive, she can't drive. And usually when I need to get stuff, I just kind of grab my money and then walk places. But like, I forgot to like grab some stuff for my period, and like I forgot to grab pads, and so I didn't really have anything. And I was thinking, oh yeah, just like sturdy toilet paper, like it'll do the same trick. No. It leaked through, and I had like stains on my pants, and like I don't know how long those stains were there, and I don't know how many people saw them, how many people didn't, but I had stains on my pants, and it's really embarrassing. And I didn't find out until like 4th period, and my friend like told me and was like, here, let me, like, you can borrow my sweater. And I was like, thank you, like I'm so sorry, like oh my god, this is embarrassing. And it's just like, I know it's natural, but like it's just really like, I don't know, society kind of makes me feel embarrassed about something like that. So yeah, I have to wash my sweater though, because like I feel really bad. It was like literally like pressed against my butt where there was like literally blood stains. So like I'll go wash her sweater, but like that's gross. But yeah, it's kind of nice to know that like I'm not the only one, because if I was the only one, like they wouldn't have like a disorder for it, you know? It's nice to know I'm not alone. I'm like, I don't know, it's just nice to know that I'm not alone or whatever. I keep saying that over and over and over again because I can't think of anything else to say. But yeah, I feel like it also might kind of be a defense mechanism against my empathy, because like my empathy like really hurts me a lot, and maybe that was like, even as a young child I was hurt a lot because of my empathy. So maybe that's why I started to do that too. Because when you're disconnected, you can't feel anything. So it's a thing. Like, I remember, especially when I would live with my mom, like, I tended to natural to just kind of like curl into myself and like want to sleep and like ignore everything. And I'm pretty sure that if I had some tools, like, I would have hurt myself to try and feel something because I just didn't feel anything. And like, I kind of was like trying to be like everyone else because like everyone else felt something, everyone else was normal, and I just wasn't. I couldn't feel, I didn't bring myself to care. And I thought I was like a bitch, I thought I was mean, I thought I was like bad, like something was wrong with me. And like, it's honestly scary because like, it's normal. I mean, it's natural, but like, no one talks about, like, no one knows about it. Like, I didn't even know about it. And like, it's nice to know something like so important because it's been a part of my life forever. Like, it's always been there, and I just never knew it was there. I never realized that this I don't want to say pain because it's not pain because I can't feel anything, but there's like this emptiness that I can't name that has been with me forever, and it's deep depersonalization thing, and it's just nice to know that like I have like something that's like there, and like so other people have it, and like, you know, like other people experience it too, and I'm not the only one, and like, I don't know. But yeah, this girl in my class, like I asked her if like I could talk to her more about certain things because like when I feel really bad, like I feel like I have friends that I can talk to. One of them, like I have 3 best friends. Like one of them, she's like at school and she's like my best friend and like we're really close. But then at the same time, sometimes like I feel like she doesn't understand sometimes, and I feel like we both have the same problem where like sometimes when we get too close to someone, we feel vulnerable, so we start to push them away. And I'm like afraid of her doing that to me or me doing that to her, and I feel like we're at that stage in our friendship where it's very possible that that could happen. And I don't want it to happen, but I think it like could happen if like I say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. And so I'm kind of like guarded around her almost, but not at the same time because we're close. But I don't know. And so I feel like sometimes I can't talk to her. And then my other 2 best friends that are homeschooled, like I just feel so welcomed and at home with them. But at the same time, like they're kind of really sheltered. And so I don't feel like they'd understand exactly how I feel and like what I've gone through because they've been so sheltered. I mean, I'm sure they'd understand, but they wouldn't be able to like fully support. And I mean, I'm sure they would support, but I don't think they'd fully like, be able to like understand and like relate and like be able to support me as like a person who like fully understands. They just kind of be like, yeah, I love you, like I'll help you like as much as I can, but they can't really help because they don't understand. And like I don't fault them for that. Like that's them and I love them, like immeasurably love them, but like sometimes they can't help me and sometimes I can't help them. Doesn't mean that we're any less of friends. It just means that there are other things that we can help each other with. And so this has been a big part of my life that I've never really fully understood. It just kind of accepted and I was like, yeah, I moved on, whatever. But it's just nice to know that someone else like is out there, and there are other more people out there who like understand what I'm feeling, and they might feel alone too. And it's like, I don't know. But yeah. Trying not to feel that way though. Well, I mean, it's not possible for me not to feel that way, but I'm trying to like almost control it because like there are times when I'm like needed to be there and needed to like understand things, and this like disability is like preventing me from it. Like for example, math. Like I understand it in the moment and I'm like happy or whatever, or like I'm just kind of like, yeah, let's suffer through it, like whatever. And then I understand it, but then like 10 seconds later I don't remember it all, because like even though I was there and I understood, I didn't fully understand because I was not fully there. And yeah, and a lot of things like that happen all the time. Like I will have like an amazing time and I just can't remember it because I wasn't there. And it's like really sad because I'm like, how much am I not going to remember? Like how much will I forget? Like how much will I be alone? And you know, like it's kind of really scary. And like that's why I kind of like, you know, almost like kind of like push people away because like I'm like afraid of like hurting them and like or them hurting me. And then I'm just kind of like, let's push away, like I'm better off alone, like whatever. But then I realize like I can't live alone. But then I also can't always be with people because like it hurts because I'm not always there. And I'm speaking really softly. I don't know why I'm speaking so softly. Like I'm almost afraid to talk. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. If it didn't make sense, I'm sorry, but like that's just me. I make no sense because I'm not always there, clearly. I just realized it's nice to have her because she, like, it make it, as much as it doesn't make sense, it's nice to know that, like, I always kind of feel like I'm, like, drifting and, like, have no really clue what's going to happen, and it terrifies me. So that's why I kind of, like, sort of, like, plan out my future, but, like, not enough where it restricts me because I hate feeling restricted, but, like, enough where, like, I feel secure and, like, kind of understand what's going on, so I know like as much as I'm drifting I can like sort of like sway with my drifting, you know. But like I don't know, just like meeting someone else who experiences something like I do just made me feel like more grounded, even though it doesn't make any sense since we're both drifters. And like how does another drifter make you feel more grounded? But she does, and like it really helps me because like it makes me feel less alone and like less terrified of just being empty and like non-feeling and like distant, because it's natural and like it's how she feels and it's how probably a lot of other people feel, but like they don't say anything because like they feel alone like I do or did. And I feel like that's part of the reason why I can't like focus on like the little things and like the like petty like stuff. As much as like being petty is kind of fun sometimes, at the same time like I can't fully bring myself to be that way because like there's so much that I've been through that has like matured me prematurely where I can't like do that anymore, and I can't like live like that like without realizing like how it's wrong. And like it's not wrong for them to do it because like they don't understand and they're just having fun. But for me to do it, it feels wrong because I understand the consequences. I know what's gonna happen, and like where I understand how what's going on is not exactly like the best. But like they don't understand that and they don't realize, and that's not a problem. Like everyone lives their lives, everyone makes mistakes. And that sounded like a song lyric. And that's fine, like everyone experiences life in their own right, but like I feel like whenever I immerse myself into that kind of world, like I'm just kind of like detached because like I don't relate and I don't know, like I just can't do it. And I feel like a lot of the people in high school, like pretty much the entire high school is like that, aside from my 3 best friends. And 2 of them are even at high school, and then one of them is at high school and she's like sort of that way, but she's still kind of there. I don't know. So yeah. weird semi-dream last night. Like, it wasn't really a dream. It was more of like a half-awake imagination. But like, I like, was like half asleep, and then I like shifted my eyes and I thought I saw a shadow, and I was like, oh my god, that would be so cool if that shadow was like a fox. And like, was just like walking around in my room. Like, how funny would that be? And then I was like, wait a second. And then I started like imagining it, and I thought it would be super cool. And so I like wrote it down as like a little short story. So that was kind of fun. I wrote my first page in my journal. Wow. Feeling very hungry because I'm always hungry. I'm gonna go eat now because I'm always hungry. Especially now in the period, like I'm. And then also after that, I have to go take a shower. I mean, not take a shower. Go get pads because like I'm out and I'm borrowing a friend's pad right now. Well, not borrowing, using a friend's pad because like I asked for one. Because like clearly the tissues were working. And then, yeah, I'm gonna eat, and then I'm gonna walk and go to the store and buy some pads, and then come back because, like, Boo cannot live without her pads. I wish I could use a Diva cup. Like, you know what those are? Like, they're, like, little, like, silicone cups that, like, you can, like, kind of, like, fold into your vagina, and, like, it'll just kind of, like, drip. But I'm scared because, like, I don't know, like, if it would, like, spill over or something, or, like, if I would even be able to fit it because, like, I'm a virgin, so, like, I have a hymen. Like, would it be able to fit still? Like, I don't know. But, yeah. Then I have to clean my turtle's tank because it's been like about a week now. So I'm gonna clean his tank. Maybe do some homework, take a nap.